vice that cannot be forgiven is hypocrisy. And that even the repentance of a hypocrite is itself hypocrisy. It is very easy for you to point fingers at other people, but whenever you are pointing a finger at someone, you should always remember that there are four that are pointing backwards to you. All of us in this discussion have a role to play. We have a role to play in the situation in our counties. We have a role to play in the situation in people's homes, people's kitchens. Mr. Speaker, we as a house, the way I understand the division of revenue to work, is that even the money that is supposed to go to the salaries, emoluments of the members of the county assembly come from the amount of money that we send to the counties. There is no separate allocation for that. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, when we as a house get an opportunity to increase the devolution basket, I hold the position that as a Senate, we must always do everything that we can to enlarge that basket before we come here and pontificate and try to please MCAs when we are the people who are part of the problem of the MCAs, Mr. Speaker. I was in this house, and it embarrasses me greatly as a senator. Every time I see a senator speak about, oh, we don't have drugs in our hospitals, oh, MCAs need better salaries. Where is that money going to come from? It is us as a Senate to fight to enlarge the basket of devolution. And the embarrassment that I get, Mr. Speaker, is that the opportunity that we get to enlarge that basket is through the division of revenue bill. That bill was here. We had an opportunity to enlarge that basket. We as a Senate chose not to enlarge that basket. And it cannot come from us that now we are suddenly realizing that MCAs need more money. In fact, Mr. Speaker, we in our committees, whenever we meet the county assemblies, they come before the county public accounts committee. We have had this conversation with members of the county assembly. And we don't have to appear like we are tone deaf. We are having this conversation at a time when every Kenyan is struggling. I have argued that, in fact, if we are talking about earnings and salaries, let us have a conversation about all Kenyans' earnings and salaries. Everybody is suffering, Mr. Speaker. We would appear to be tone deaf as a house if we only picked to discuss our own emoluments or emoluments of other elected leaders, Mr. Speaker. In fact, we have tried to convince our colleagues on the other side of the political divide that we must have a conversation generally about how Kenyans are doing. People's incomes have not grown for a long time, Mr. Speaker. All these responsibilities that people are talking about, it's not as if only elected MPs or elected members of the county assemblies are invited to Harambes. No. People who work in public service, wanaitwa wakubwa, they are called senior people on the ground there, they are called, but their salaries have not grown, Mr. Speaker. So let us not have this conversation in the context in which the country is in right now. Mr. Speaker, what I want us to do... What is your point of order, Senator Sifuna? What is your point of order, Senator Methu?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would not have really wanted to disrupt my big brother, Senator Sifuna, but I think it is fair that I quote Standing Order 105, responsibility for statement of fact. A senator shall be responsible for accuracy of any facts that the senator alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate. Mr. Speaker, I find the argument of Senator Sifuna misleading that the more amount of money we send to counties, the more MCAs will get, because capping of what MCAs or any public servant earns is by SRC. Even if we were to send 1 trillion to the counties, yes, and the money has been capped at 86, Mr. Speaker, the county assembly or county government cannot be able to raise their salaries. Exactly. So the point that is the statement, I think he's contributing to a statement that has not been sought. Yeah. What Senator Cherargei has sought this afternoon is a review by the SRC, not a review by Division of Revenue, not a review by the Senate, not a review by anybody, because the only person that has that mandate is the SRC. Exactly. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sifuna.
Yes.
In your statement, you alluded to the fact that the more money that goes to the counties, then the more the MCAs will.
Mr. Speaker.
Is that correct?
Mr. Speaker, that's